Joining us now is Kachiofia, who will now catch the flow of the program with stories trending around the world. Hello, Kachi. Please catch it.
Absolutely. Good morning, Dr. Abati. I'm ready to catch it. Good morning, Tundun. Good morning, Rafai. Good morning, viewers. Let's take a look at what is trending today. Now, Nigerians in social media are beginning to raise questions over the visit of public officers, including President Muhammadu Buhari, to the All Progressives Congress chieftain and national leader Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, recently, Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State and his Ekiti state counterpart, Kayode Fayemi, visited the former Lagos state governor in London, United Kingdom. Now, Tinubu has for a while been in London for reported medical reasons, and the APC leader had been reported to be eyeing the APC presidential ticket ahead of the 2023 general election. Now, quite honestly, lately we have seen a couple of strange alliances. I mean, we saw the wedding that happened in Kano, Atiku Abubakar and President Muhammadu Buhari, you know, at a wedding of his son in Bichi. That was definitely one to see. So this is definitely one that, you know, is quite shocking to a lot of people. Now the governors, Rotimi Akeredolu and Governor Fayemi, visited Tinubu in London. These men are people who have had issues with Tinubu in the past. You know, Tinubu backing someone else against Akeredolu in 2016 when he first contested for the governorship ticket for the APC, and then did not support Fayemi when he sought a second term as governor of Ekiti State in 2018. So maybe we just have a very friendly and forgiving ruling class, clearly.
Well, you know what they say about politicians and politics. There are no permanent friends, no permanent enemies, only permanent interests. So it does appear that they're all chums now, which is great for them. And I think they're trying to make this photo ops into a show of unity, but they do manage to raise other inconvenient questions, because what most Nigerians are seeing is not unity. What they're seeing is our ruling class going to London or wherever else that they go for medical trips. And it's really bad signaling at a time where we have the doctors on strike. You had that story yesterday, Kachi, of Saudi Arabia's Ministry of Health coming to poach our best doctors and take them away to their country. So it looks pretty bad. If you want to make a show of unity, I would suggest any other venue, but while somebody is away for medical treatment abroad. It looks bad right now. Those are not the optics we need to be seeing. And also, like I keep referring to it as the worst-kept political secret, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu hasn't officially declared any intention to run for president. But of course, as Dr. Abati wrote a couple of days ago, there are Tinubu support groups springing up all over the place. We can assume that he is one of the contenders for the throne. We have our current President Buhari, who has been criticized for his constant medical jaunts to London, because what was the excuse that Femi Adesina gave his spokesperson? That he has the same medical team for 40 years. Many Nigerians who have their own medical teams for the past 40 years in Nigeria are losing members of that medical team as they go abroad to greener pastures. So that kind of thinking, that kind of rhetoric just does not wash with the general public at this time. We also do not need another president, and I really do hate to say it, who will leave the country and go abroad for an extended period of time. You recall that one trip that President Buhari took, and he was away for 104 days. Yeah. So them using Asiwaju Tinubu's medical trip for photo ops is actually, I think, a big misfire as far as I'm concerned. In Nigeria, we've also had President Umaru Yar'Adua, who was plagued with health problems. We have our current president, who thankfully recovered fully from his health problems. We don't need to be reminded that, the dangers of having the #1 citizen in Nigeria in London for extended periods.
Okay, let's get certain things clear. One, any individual can fall ill. And if you are a private individual, you have the right to choose to treat yourself anywhere. But if you are a public figure, or you are occupying public office, or there is a suggestion that you are using public funds to go abroad, or you've been in public office before and you didn't do enough, then of course people will raise questions. In this particular case, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is leader of the APC, but he doesn't occupy any political position that is probably being used to sponsor him, beyond the fact that he's a former governor of Lagos State. But you can understand where the public is coming from. Here is a man who is being rumored to be interested in the presidency of Nigeria in 2023. So given the experience we had with former presidents who were perpetually in and out of hospital in Europe, and in one particular case, we lost a president to medical reasons. So Nigerians will imagine that, okay, if it is true that this is a man who is interested in the presidency of Nigeria in 2023, will history repeat itself? Would we have a president again who will be permanently in London, London that he had probably been using since 50 years ago, for his treatment, and then he will justify it that they have his medical records in the UK. Then, of course, Nigerians would be concerned. The third leg of it is the politics of it. All these politicians who are now queuing up, doing eye service. I'm sure there must be a long list of intending politicians who want to go and pay homage to the party leader in London. I wouldn't be surprised if very soon you have the Association of Local Government Chairmen of Nigeria, APC faction, hiring a private jet to go and greet him. And very soon, maybe some selected first ladies will go to the UK to go and visit Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As long as they are spending their money to go and show solidarity, because politicians also have friends, that would not be a problem. But again, must they publish the pictures? What is the purpose of publishing the pictures? Other than needless publicity, needless hypocrisy. And I would like to advise that, yes, whoever wants to go and visit anybody in any part of the world is entitled to do so. But don't push it in the people's faces, because it doesn't prove any point. It just further, infuriates the people. Some of the kind of comments I've seen, I'm not sure that if Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu sees those comments, he will be pleased. One commentator said, all the pictures he has seen, that he has been wearing only one pair of sandals. What? That doesn't he have more sandals? Okay. I mean, you can imagine that kind of a comment. But you invite such comments if you put your private affairs in people's faces. We're told that he went through surgery. We wish him a very, speedy recovery. And perhaps his managers will just, change the sandals if they insist on taking more photographs.
Why does he have to change his sandals, though?
Well, that's the kind of comment you get.
Exactly. I mean, it looks good. The one he's wearing in that picture.
That's the kind of comment
you get. That's the point.
So for me, I think this is a clarion call to every young person that submits himself or herself to politicians as thugs during elections, to carry ballot boxes and kill themselves for politicians. I'm sure you are wise now enough to know that you do not die in their war. Because in the end, they'll patch things up and they'll move on, while you are left to suffer. So please be wise. My problem with politicians in this country is that when they fight over their own personal interests. I'll love for a day politicians can fight about how to grow the economy. They can actually come out and argue and debate the best way to give us double-digit growth GDP numbers, the best way to reduce inflation, the best way to reduce maternal mortality, the best way to cut primary school, to reduce primary school, the lack of primary school completion rates, the best way to reduce the number of out-of-school children, the best way to remove people from IDP camps. They don't ever comment about that. They don't fight themselves about that. It's just about their own personal, selfish, self-aggrandizing journey. That's all they care about. Yes, he's out there in the UK. Why is he there in the UK? Because of the failure of our medical system here. How many times do you see Boris Johnson go to another country to get medical treatment? While Boris Johnson was sick unto death in the UK, he went to St. Thomas, an NHS clinic. Any British citizen too can go to St. Thomas. It didn't depend on where or the position he held. It was because the NHS trust was put in there by William Berridge. And that's why people can go there. I want a Nigeria where the president can go to any public hospital, just like any citizen will go to, and get quality health care.
By the way, Kachi, Do Not Die in Their War.
That's really
is the title of a book by Dele
Farutimi.
Do Not Die in Their War by Dele Farutimi.
Yeah.
Please continue.
Well, on that note, let's take a look at the next story, where the management of Ignatius Ojuru University of Education, Port Harcourt, Rivers State, announced the suspension of a lecturer in the Department of Curriculum Studies who goes by the name Dr. Samuel Abiye over a sex grade scandal. Now, the Vice-Chancellor of the institution, Professor Ozomekuri Ndimele, disclosed this in a statement on Tuesday, basically saying that the lecturer was suspended for 3 months on half salary on allegations of sexual extortion for grades from one of his female students. Now, Abiye was recorded by a student who he promised to help pass his course and the other course taught by the other lecturers in their department only if she sexually satisfies him. Now, in the interim, the university has also directed that all courses taught by Dr. Abiye for the first semester of 2020-2021 be regraded through conference marking to be supervised by the Dean of Education. This is an absolutely lovely development. I mean, it's about time. And I also commend the boldness of the student as well, who went ahead to make this video, irrespective of what people might think or people might say. It was a really, really bold move on her part.
I shudder to imagine what happened in universities and in other places when there was no technology available to record videos, when it has to be your word against the person's word. That is, if at all you even had the courage to speak up. So yes, you're completely right in commending her, and I join you in doing so. It takes courage to expose this kind of behavior. And the university has done the right thing by suspending him. I hope they go even further and dismiss him, as was done when we recall that sex for grade scandal in Unilag. That university actually ended up dismissing the lecturers who were involved in that. And then they can take it a step even further and prosecute these predators to the full extent of the law. And here is where the National Assembly comes in. There's a beautiful bill. I'm very fond of that bill. It's Mr. Feni's Senator Ovi Omwagege Sexual Harassment in Tertiary Institutions Bill. Unfortunately, it was passed in the 8th Senate, but it was rejected by the House of Representatives then. But now it's been passed by the Senate, and I hope that it scales through in the House of Reps and becomes the law, because that makes this specific issue an offense, and carrying 14 years imprisonment. So far, what we have in the criminal code, which is what would apply in Rivers State in southern Nigeria, this person would face 2 years in jail. We need to really throw the book at these people, and that's really all I have to say about it. I hope that law gets passed.
Well, we have less than a minute to go, so very quickly, just to say, that this is not just in this Ignatius Ojuru University. It has happened elsewhere. In Obafemi Awolowo University, the University of Lagos. The most recent example we have is that of the University of Calabar, where Professor Florence Obi, the Vice-Chancellor, set up a committee to address issues of sex for grades, sexual harassment, and what they call sorting, whereby you pay a certain amount to go and write your paper in hotel rooms and in some other, dark places, so that the lecturer can give you good grades. It lowers the quality of our education system. It destroys the image of the institutions. And in most cases, there is, violence against women involved, the humiliation of young ladies. And we would like to see more schools suspending such notorious lecturers, or, in fact, dismissing them, or, in fact, prosecuting them, as the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Calabar promised in the example that we took from that university. You, in fact, brought the story, so I need not remind you of your own story. So this is a challenge. The focus should be on deepening the quality of the education system. And all these, lecturers, intellectuals, if they were to devote the energy that they use in that direction to research and concentration and self-development, it will be of greater value, not just to the university system, but also to the Nigerian community. Thank you very much, Kachi.